Now, under normal circumstances, I would be filming across my room. It's just not giving that today, okay? I'm just very exhausted. Well, been working in bed all day, so we gonna continue that. While I'm on the topic of working in bed, I gotta work on these nails. I gotta work on this hair. I gotta work, and I've been working all day. Oh my God. But I got homework for you too, so if I'm working, you gonna work right along with me, bitch. A lot of my godchildren, they know how busy I can get. But I dedicated a few months to them, literally just them, where I closed my botanica, and I really just dedicated a lot of special one-on-one time with all of my godchildren. And even some of my clients were able to participate and learn some things as I dedicated time to everyone. My back is killing me. But besides that, I was finally able to teach everyone the foundations of what is Spiritism and even Voodoo culture from the perspective of my tradition, of course, which is the 21 divisions. But now I kind of wanted to give everyone some homework because this will also help some of my clients who are working on their spirituality, are also trying to build on their relationship with their Loa, as well as some of my godchildren who have been really requesting this video. You know what, this is really something that anyone can really work on, whether you are in Santeria, walking Ifa, walking anything, really. You could even be a Catholic or a Pentecostal Christian, what have you. These things that I have written down for everyone to work on really can benefit just about anyone. So, y'all ready? Get your motherfucking pen and pencil, bitch, because I'm not repeating myself. So when it comes to walking these paths, a lot of people tend to forget the body, mind, and spirit. Everybody just wants to go straight into working with the higher divinities, whether that is Orishas or that is Loa. Once people kind of just want to skip steps, skip the ancestors, skip the work, skip so many things. Even in the 21, you still have to honor the Gedes, which are technically, a lot of the forgotten dead. And depending on your tradition, those can be your ancestors as well. And that is just not something that anyone can skip. What I wrote down honestly can serve my black ass because I could really be working on some of these things, but hey, we can all brush up on this shit because realistically, what I have written down is something that is really the foundation of my growth. And for a lot of you guys that really want to grow spiritually, want to understand how the Loa work, these are really good footstones. We're going to work firstly on the mind, okay? These paths are not a cure-all for mental illness. They're not a cure, for childhood trauma. They're not a cure for psychosis or psychological troubles and issues and emotional imbalances and all of these things. These paths really are just here to serve you and bring out your authentic self in order for you to live a more balanced life with the conditions that, you made a pact with God to have before coming to Earth, which include mental illnesses if you were born with them or some disabilities if you were born with them. In Voodoo, we do not believe that you should be fighting against your natural state, but rather flow like the river. Because if you try to go against who you naturally are meant to be, you're always going to live a life of misery and suffering. These lists don't contain everything you should really be doing. It's just the gist. And there's so much more, but I can't do that in one video. I'll be here forever. Don't teach what you are taught if you are not licensed to teach that. But if someone is teaching you, or you as a student have reached out to someone to learn something, that is not for you to take from it and then go off into the world, teach it, and then get money from it or profit off of what you're learning. And that's it. First of all, these religions are not about monetary gain. We see that with Santeria, we see that with Ifa, we see that with so many African traditions these days. Once they fall into the hands of people that are just greedy, and I can't even say that it's just white people because I've seen black people do it too. They learn about these things, they don't want to go through the steps, they don't and refuse initiation, then they just learn, start teaching, make money off of it. And it's like, brava. What are you doing? You gotta be patient with yourself. You gotta trust the process and you gotta do and walk the tradition like everybody else. I don't claim to be a priest, never have. But I have people out here claiming the 21 divisions, claiming to be priests, teaching things that they have made up based off of what little they have learned from other people, never crediting the people that they learned from, and pretending that they can perform ceremonies and initiations that really they're not licensed to. Check yourself, check your ego. Don't walk into these religions trying to profit off of it, trying to teach, what you're learning. What a godparent is teaching you is meant for your spiritual progress, and sometimes the Loa instilled knowledge into your godparent to teach you what serves you, because what you're going through really is just going to serve you, and it's not meant to be taught to everyone who perhaps is not going to have the same Loa as you, thus the same results as you. But whatever your godparent teaches you is for your spiritual court. It is for your Loa. It is for your spirits. Hey, what are you doing teaching other people about the shit that's sacred between you and your godparent and your traditions? If you are those people, shame on you. Shame on you. And may legba close your damn roads because you don't deserve them. Now the second thing, decolonize symbolism. I feel like everybody needs to work on that shit. So many people leaving Christianity to come into Vudu or to come into Santeria come with this hatred towards Christianity, rightfully so, right? We have all had ancestors, well, at least us. If you're from the Caribbean, we have all had ancestors that have been colonized and tortured and suffered. And African Americans, Black Americans, we all have ancestors that have suffered. But if you're leaving Christianity to walk Vudu, please don't bring the hatred. At the root of a lot of symbols, there is not supposed to be hatred, especially the symbols that are meant for healing, liberation, and love, such as the sign of the cross. Because the sign of the cross throughout history has been borrowed from other religions, taken from other religions. So the sign of the cross is not necessarily just attached to Jesus. It's attached to paganism. It is attached to Semiism. It is attached to so many other religions. So the cross really needs to be decolonized, because through colonial torture and enslavement, the sign of the cross has just been completely just embedded in the minds of people as a symbol of hatred. And rightfully so. Hey, white people set that stage up, so these are the consequences to the enslavement. But I just say it as a person who understands the symbol of the cross is beyond just Jesus. It is beyond just, enslavement, because as Black people, we are beyond our slave history, okay? We are beyond that shit. Black history did not start with slavery. So first, let's start with decolonizing symbols, okay? Because that's something that you're going to see in the 21 divisions. That is something you're going to see in Spiritism. The sign of the cross serves so many purposes. So please do not get it misconstrued and attach hatred and, history to the sign of the cross. Hi, Luna. Am I right? Am I right, loons? Because the cross is much more than that, okay? The third thing before walking these paths that you need to work on. Mic on? Mic on. Deconstruct fear-based thoughts. It is so necessary that we let go of fear towards what African and Black spirituality is. When you believe that Black spirituality or that African spirituality is evil, you are playing into the white supremacist narrative that Black people are savages and their spirituality is untamed. It's heathenism, it's Satanism, it's evil. You might as well bend over the first white supremacist and say, spank me. Especially if you're Black or Afro-Taino or Latinx. What are you doing? Voodoo does not teach you fear. Ultimately, in Voodoo, we are taught that fear is actually a lie, which technically it really is. Fear is a mind-based thing that weighs you down depending how much power you give it. Fear does not exist in Voodoo. Fear is literally a useless ass emotion. It is something that is made to control you, and it is contagious. Do not believe or listen to people that speak fear into what is Black education, Black spirituality, or for that matter, anybody that speaks fear into what is love. Throw them to the fucking curve, okay? Deconstruct fear-based thoughts. Anything that makes you fear the unknown, throw that shit the fuck out. Fear usually is just based on ignorance, entirely. So just let it go. Fourth thing I really recommend, get out of your comfort zone. Challenge yourself. Nobody grows in comfortable conditions, okay? Have you not seen flowers go through concrete? You are a seed. okay? And you cannot become immune or stronger if you constantly remain in comfortable soil. Literally, that means face your fears, man. Do prayers that you probably never thought you'd do before. Stand up for somebody, you know? Fight for somebody. Speak out on something, you know? Face someone that's an asshole, okay? Confront people, you know? Apologize when you're wrong. These are all things that help you step out of your comfort zone. And these are all things that will definitely help you step into your spiritual power. Because one day there's going to be one of your spirit guides that's going to say, yo, confront this one and say da 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 da, because we're telling you this is what's going on behind closed doors. And you got to have the balls to do it, because if you don't, then your spirits are going to stop communicating with you, because they're not going to waste their time with your silent ass. The fifth thing, become teachable, okay? Being teachable is something that is so necessary at this day and age. It is something that is going to be the epitome of people's growth. Too many times people just want to listen to respond, or people just want to listen to just be heard. Some people also just want to listen in order to find a problem to every solution given to them. Your spirits are not going to be enthusiastic to help your ass. Being teachable also includes taking accountability, facing your consequences, listening to feedback and critique when your behavior is being checked, checking yourself, analyzing yourself, recognizing what areas of your life you need to work on, becoming more mature, facing your errors, you know, fixing your behavior, fixing your character, growth. Because, hey, nobody in this life came as a teacher. Everyone started as a student, okay? Even teachers need teaching sometime, because even teachers don't know it all. Even your most famous gurus, your most famous spiritual teachers that sound like they know a lot. Hey, yes, they may know a lot, but guess what? They are still students too. When you're not teachable, your spirit guides are not going to show themselves. For a lot of people that wonder why they never get dreams with their spirit guides, or why they, never get revelations, oftentimes it's because they're not teachable. If your spirit guides don't want to come to you, there's a blockage within you that you need to work on. You need to allow yourself to be teachable, to hear the other side, or to hear the side of your spirits that walk with you. I mean, hey, if they walk with you, you got to learn who the hell they are, and you got to accept some of their differences, okay? Because no one is going to be like you, and you don't have to be like them. Honoring your ancestors doesn't mean repeating their same mistakes, but it damn well means be teachable so that you learn not to make their mistakes. The next one, if it's needed, take care of your mental health, okay? If you have anxiety, bipolar disorder, any of those things that are really rooted in psychological, need, go get yourself some help, okay? Because it will only be your downfall later on if you build bonds with people and then you just start breaking those relationships. It's like, you gotta fix that shit, because if you start breaking relationships with amazing people in your life, that could really be the end of your road with a good person. Which goes into the next one. Don't project childhood traumas onto your godparents. This means your godparents are not replacement for your parents, okay? Your godparents are not responsible for you financially. Your godparents are not there to cater to you or to make you feel comfortable or literally put you first. Any expectations you have on how your godparents should behave with you goes out the window, because they're not your parents. They are there to make you the best version of yourself that you should be, in accordance to who walks with you and the spirits that walk with you, or your spiritual path. Next thing, become a charitable person, okay? Charity also does not mean give back in money. Charity also means be a kinder person, okay? Give unto others your time or your energy. You don't have to be selfish all the damn time. Give some of yourself unto others, okay? Charity is not about monetary gain all the time either. It's about lending an ear. It's about teaching. It's about giving someone the tools in order for them to get themselves out of a situation, okay? That can also count as charity. That's you giving, okay, of your time, your energy, or even volunteer work, Go out and pray for people, or go out and give, free readings perhaps. Be a charitable person, a good person, a kind person that gives unto those less fortunate. Because if you haven't noticed, Black and brown people, especially Afro-Tainos and especially Latinx, have been disenfranchised for years. We're always being displaced. Our small businesses usually are not as supported by the community, and really, we only have ourselves. So give back to your community, give back to each other, because nothing is more beautiful than knowing current events addressing the issues and working towards building a better future for those communities in need and those who are oppressed and suffering, which include Natives, Blacks, Afro-Latinos, Afro-Tainos, Afro-Latinx. Ay, the list goes on. Oh, my LGBTQ. There are so many people that really just need upliftment, okay, need help. And the last two that I would like to say is be selfless. A lot of people forget that in these spiritual paths, it's not always going to be about you. Walking an African traditional path is not meant to be all about you. Some people really come into these paths thinking, well, how can I fix myself and only focus on me and just do everything for myself? These paths are not just meant to serve you, they're meant to serve you and the world, okay, especially your family. What this means is, if you and one of your friends, partner, relationship, family member, whatever, if they have upset you, for example, and you live your life completely quiet because you're afraid to confront them, you're afraid to speak out, you're afraid of an argument, you're afraid of just something. What a lot of people forget is that the quieter you get, the more they believe, the other person believes that they're right. That's why you have to tell people when they're wrong. You have to hold people accountable. A lot of things go under the rug in a lot of relationships and friendships because there is no communication and people just walk around believing that it's okay to just ignore and walk away. That is not the mature thing to do, ladies and gentlemen. Growing up, we were always told, oh, be the bigger person and walk away, don't fight, don't argue. You don't have to fight, you don't have to argue. But you damn well should check yourself and then check the other person as well. Because arguments happen when tones are unchecked, when you are listening to respond and not really to understand, and you are also condescending, patronizing, or other things. Check yourself and then check the person next to you. Because a lot of relationships can be saved if people just said, yo, this is what you do that bothers me, and this is why I can no longer have you in my life. That is such a learning lesson for that person. They will realize, holy shit, what if this is why people don't like me? But when you stay quiet, you don't allow that person to learn from their mistakes. You just walked away. So they're going to continue to hurt others, and they're going to continue to live their life believing that they're doing nothing wrong and that everything is their zodiac's fault or somebody else's fault. Learn to talk things through. And with that, that is the most I can really recommend for y'all regarding the mind. But I have a part 2 and a part 3 coming soon, so stay tuned for those. Love you lots. Lucy Progreso, y'all better do that damn shit, okay? Work on your damn self.